A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 232. In the previous episode, Han Li and his allies found themselves in the midst of a fierce battle against the Moulan spell warriors. As blazing fire and violent winds clashed across the sky, Old Man Ma unveiled a mysterious ancient treasure, the Supreme Eight Trigrams Diagram, to trap the formidable Sage Ku Yao and his fire spirit flood dragon. Within moments, the heavens themselves seemed to tremble. The eight-colored formation descended like divine judgment, sealing Ku Yao and his beast in a storm of rainbow light and thunder. Yet even as the onlookers watched in awe, Han Li could tell something was wrong. Silvermoon's voice echoed in his mind, explaining that while the diagram was indeed a legendary relic, Old Man Ma's control over it was crude and incomplete, its true potential far beyond his grasp. The power he forced from it drained his strength rapidly, and soon cracks began to form within the formation itself. Then, with a deafening explosion, the spell was shattered. Ku Yao burst free from the collapsing diagram, blood-stained yet alive, while Old Man Ma staggered back, pale and exhausted, clutching the now faded scroll. And the episode 232 continues. When the old man saw that the scroll was in tatters, his face greatly paled. It was clearly ruined beyond use. The black-robed figure standing nearby spoke with a trace of regret, saying that if fellow Taoist Ku Yao had not been in such a rush to break free and had not used the vitality of his fire spirit to stall for time, the other cultivator's magic power would have been completely exhausted, and the formation diagram would have been dispelled successfully. The shriveled spell warrior pondered the statement for a moment before silently agreeing with its truth. With the spell warrior finally freed, Old Man Ma's face turned sickly pale. He hastily grabbed the ruined scroll and placed it back in his storage pouch, glaring viciously at Ku Yao, who merely snorted in response. Beneath Ku Yao, the flood dragon surged again, flames and red light bursting from its body, illuminating the battlefield with an intense heat. The shriveled spell warrior, seeing the escalating tension, suddenly shouted from above, urging Ku Yao to cease his actions. Then, he turned to the Heavenly South cultivators and proposed ending the battle in a draw, reasoning that both combatants' magic power was nearly exhausted, and any further struggle would achieve nothing. The bald man exchanged a glance with Ji Shuangpu, then nodded his head solemnly, agreeing that ending the battle was wise. Old Man Ma felt inwardly opposed to this decision but realized it would be futile to continue. With no better option, he retreated. Ku Yao, although feeling gloomy, begrudgingly recalled his flood dragon and returned to the ranks of spell warriors. The bald man offered a few consoling words to Old Man Ma, easing some of the tension from the older man's face. However, at that moment, the black-robed spell warrior and the shriveled old man whispered quietly among themselves. The black-robed figure then floated gracefully to the previous battlefield, his gaze sweeping gloomily across the cultivators below, revealing a trace of contempt. In a hoarse voice, he declared that this time, the battle would be to the death and warned that no one should imagine it could be stopped once it began. Ji Shuangpu and the bald man were enraged at his audacity but dared not intervene, knowing that two nascent soul cultivators had already fallen to this mysterious spell warrior. Their caution kept them from taking action. Han Li stepped forward calmly, volunteering to face the black-robed figure. The bald man blinked in surprise but soon inwardly sighed with relief. He cautioned Han Li to take care, promising that if anything went wrong, they would come to his aid. Han Li smiled slightly, said nothing more, and activated the azure light surrounding him. In an instant, he streaked across the sky, arriving before the black-robed figure. He stood expressionlessly in midair, hands folded behind his back, ready to engage. The black-robed figure appraised Han Li, and his eyes slowly shifted from black to green in a monstrous display. Han Li narrowed his eyes and asked whether he was a demon or a ghost. The figure coldly chuckled, dismissing the question, and inky threads of black energy began to coil around his body. Ghostly wails echoed, accompanied by fierce gusts of yin wind that swept across the battlefield. Han Li observed calmly, noting that although the figure had once been human, he had clearly cultivated the Tao of a demon or ghost. transforming him into a fearsome and unpredictable opponent. Without warning, the black-robed old man suddenly grew to a towering height of 6 meters. The vortex of dark energy surrounding him largely concealed his form, but faintly visible horns and fangs revealed his demonic transformation. Han Li's eyes shone with blue light as he recognized a striking resemblance to the phantoms of the 6 apex devils he had previously encountered during his fight with the disciple of Archsaint Six Paths. The huge demonic figure raised his hand and scattered some of the black energy. Launching a dark projectile toward Han Li, the object flashed with black light as it left the cover of his energy, then disappeared from sight. Han Li's expression sank slightly as he shot backward 10 meters. At that exact moment, a massive ghostly claw appeared where he had previously stood, seemingly materializing from thin air. The demonic figure yelped in surprise at his attack missing completely. Han Li examined the ghostly claw and remarked indifferently that although the figure was not a ghost Dao cultivator, his attack methods closely resembled ghost cultivators' techniques, making him dangerous if underestimated. The demonic man froze, glaring coldly at Han Li, his eyes narrowing in irritation. At the same time, Han Li moved 10 meters to the side in a blur, and another green ghostly claw silently struck the spot where he had been standing. The huge demonic figure could no longer remain calm. He asked Han Li if he had encountered ghost cultivators before. Han Li, smiling faintly, replied that of course he had, hinting at his vast experience without revealing the full truth. The black-robed figure sneered, admitting that Han Li was far more experienced than expected, but he remained confident, asserting that the Heaven Flash Devil Arts would end Han Li's life in an instant. Suddenly, the demonic figure released a shrill, ear-piercing whistle capable of splitting stone. Dark energy around him whirled violently, and an astonishing wave of devilish power erupted out of thin air. He shot toward Han Li, leaving afterimages in his wake, and summoned a flurry of black-green claw phantoms designed to slice Han Li into countless pieces. Han Li, unfazed, took a deep breath and summoned a net of golden lightning, thunder echoing across the battlefield. The golden net spread outward, cutting through the incoming claw phantoms with dazzling brilliance. The huge black figure watched in disbelief, realizing that his opponent knew much about the Heaven Flash Devil Arts, which made him uneasy. He resolved to finish Han Li immediately. However, as he commanded his claw phantoms to strike, he suddenly felt unbearable heat and unimaginable pain. Golden light shone brightly from before him as the net of lightning pierced through the claw phantoms and approached, threatening to envelop him entirely. Trapped and vulnerable, he recalled a legend his master had often warned him about, the greatest nemesis of the Heaven Flash Devil Arts. He had long forgotten this warning, having never faced a true equal, and now regret struck him as he realized the danger. Desperate, the black-robed figure howled and shrank his tall body to the size of 1 meter, buying precious moments of time before the golden net could reach him. In that time that he bought, his shrunken body suddenly fluctuated in size before hastily erupting into countless threads of black light, scattering in every direction. And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw Han Li bravely step forward to face a mysterious and extremely powerful black-robed spell warrior, whose mastery of Devil Dao techniques made him both dangerous and unpredictable. The episode highlighted the aftermath of a fierce and exhausting battle, where Ku Yao's quick thinking and the Flood Dragon's timely intervention prevented greater destruction. And the immense power of the spell warrior forced all sides to carefully reconsider their strategies. We also witnessed Han Li's calm and analytical approach in the face of overwhelming danger. Despite confronting a foe who had already defeated powerful nascent soul cultivators, he remained composed, quickly assessing the black-robed figure's abilities and countering his attacks with precision. This episode emphasizes the importance of experience, strategy, and keen observation in battle, as well as how knowledge of different Dao techniques, like Devil Dao and Ghost-like combat methods, can turn the tide against seemingly unbeatable opponents. Moreover, this part of the story shows the true threat posed by the Heaven Flash Devil Arts, as well as the deadly creativity of its practitioners. It also hints at the deeper mysteries behind the black-robed figure and his connection to other formidable forces. setting the stage for future confrontations and revealing how careful planning and courage are essential for Han Li's journey. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you can receive notifications about the latest episodes of Han Li's journey. Thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next video as the story continues to unfold with even greater challenges and adventures.